Hey, my YouTube fam. Hope you guys are doing well. Wanted to jump on today, and felt like I just had a little bit of a word of encouragement for some people out there. I know it's been a little bit of a wild season lately. I feel like I'm going through a little bit of a transition season right now. Maybe just between different careers or different things. Seems like I've seen a little bit of like some doors that are slowing down and possibly closing as far as like current work avenues, and currently have some other doors that kind of seem to be like in limbo right now. Not really sure exactly, if some current opportunities are they're kind of like halfway open right now, I would say, and not really sure. You know, it's tough to see where the end game is going to be like right now at the moment. But one of the things that like the Lord's been speaking to me through this process is He brought me back to, like, I have it pulled up here. So Colossians chapter 3, verse 15. And really it says, I'm going to read from like the Amplified version, which kind of emphasizes like some of the Greek meaning in the word. And, Paul's speaking to the Colossians, but he says, let the peace of Christ, the inner calm of one who walks daily with him, be the controlling factor in your hearts, deciding and settling questions that arise. Okay. So really like the foundation of that is in my decisions, like the Lord's been reminding me in every decision that I make, like let peace be the deciding factor of like let him guide you. It's kind of like he says, I lead you beside, still waters. It's calm, it's peaceful, right? So one of the things that's funny about like my current situation is I kind of have peace, but some of the rockiness, I don't know, it's kind of like half in and half out. So this is kind of a fun part of like the journey that I'm in, is that I'll kind of have to see where he takes the next steps in the next door. But really, even if the Lord closes a door in your life, in my journey, I've learned to trust closed doors. It's frustrating and it can be tough, especially when you feel like something is a really good fit. It can be really hard to like accept those closed doors at times, thinking that like, Lord, I thought that one was an open door, right? But at the same time, there are more open doors ahead, right? And I've seen that in my own experience. I've seen the Lord close down some pretty big doors, like things that I thought, I'm talking about like job openings, but I'm also just talking about relational things too. Like there's been times when everything's going good and all of a sudden doors close, relationship close, and it's like everything just goes wild for a season. But now, like where I'm at, once you walk through the doors, it's so much easier to look back and be able to make sense of it. But like when we're going through it, it can be tough, and like for me in a season that I'm walking in right now, things are kind of in limbo. But it's funny because I have a picture of my living room. There's like a boat by a dock, and it's crazy because like where I'm at right now, like when we moved it, that was there like ahead of time. And I laugh at that because I just see the season I'm in. And it's like the Lord always reminds me, like every day I'm getting on the boat with him. It doesn't have to look perfect, but it's like it's an invitation, right? Like so many times we want to go and we want to walk on the water, but we get scared and we want to live in like the comfort zone. We want to have everything. We just want to know everything. We want to control everything. And I'm guilty of that too. Like I feel like I'm at a season where even just career wise, I'm almost wanting to go back to kind of like an Egypt situation where like, yeah, it'd be nice if things were a little bit more comfortable. But then at the same time, like, I know if I stay in that too long, then I'm like, no, I need to get back out in the wilderness. Like it's too dry. So, yeah, we'll see what happens, on my journey. I'll keep you guys updated. But really the word of encouragement for the day for anybody, if you're facing big decisions, like I said, go back and think about Colossians 3, verse 15, where it says, let the peace of Christ, the inner calm of one who walks daily with him, be the controlling factor in your hearts, deciding and settling questions that arise, right? So let it be the deciding factor in like all decisions. So if you don't have peace about something, I'm not talking about like, there's times for growth where the Lord will bring you in a situation, right? Sometimes those are like unexpected, right? Or like we don't have a choice. The Lord will just bring something in and things are rocky. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about if you're facing a decision, like moving forward in a career decision, or maybe you have a decision about a move, like things where you have a little bit of control of putting things out there, let peace be the deciding factor about all things. And I'm talking about that peace that surpasses all understanding, right? Where like it says, pray about all things, give thanks in everything. And then it says the peace of the Lord that surpasses, all understanding will be upon you and in your heart. So, yeah, guys, I hope everybody's doing well lately. And just, I hope everybody's staying encouraged. So much is going on lately, like in the news. Seems like every day there's like a drama, something that happens, but just stay grounded and, disconnect a little bit. I know I like to listen to different YouTube, sermons or different brothers or sisters of words of encouragement. And I hope like this is touching somebody for their season as well, in basically that confirmation of letting the peace be the deciding factor, right? Like if it's chaotic, if you don't have peace, like take heart, don't take that road. Like that's not the right path. Let that peace and clarity and ask the Lord for confirmation. Like he'll confirm it. He'll definitely confirm it. And if you're in a season of waiting, really just enjoy that. I had a time yesterday where I was almost feeling restless, where like it was like I felt guilty for not doing things, right? But then the Lord had to just remind me, like those are special times, right? Where we can slow down and maybe maybe you guys are going through a season of isolation. And you, in this hustle culture that we're in America, it's like you want to go, do. But another thing that the Lord reminded me of is like he's the potter. He's planned good works for us to do like ahead of time before we were even born. So he knows. And that's just coming from a real position as well, that guys, I walk this walk too. Like so many times even today, I'm like, Lord, what are we doing? Where are we going? But it's a journey, and gosh, I feel like he needs to grind that in me so many times. Like, Dave, you want the unknown. You wither in the predictability. So just enjoy the journey, right? It's like a movie, like our favorite movies where we see these great journeys, but what did it take? It's in the unknown, and really just not making unwise decisions, but just seeking his counsel, right? Like sometimes the Holy Spirit will lead us into these crazy things where sometimes we're like, are you sure? you know but like within them, the blessings there as well. But like I said, the peace will also be there. So when I say pray, I'm not talking about doing a legalistic ritual. I'm talking about just talking to him, just like I'm talking to you guys right now. This is how I talk to him. It's not like I'm kneeling and I'm up and down. Like it's fine if it's comfortable. But many times it's just me going on a walk with them, or when I'm sitting on the couch, you know, just talking with them like I'm talking with my best friend, or, sometimes I call up my sister, just to talk about things, or maybe that's praying, guys. It's having the Holy Spirit is the comforter, and he's your friend. Gosh, he's so amazing. He's so amazing. If you guys are maybe struggling as well with like, how do I hear from the Lord? You hear from him. Trust me. He's that small inner voice. Sometimes we disconnect ourselves, right? Because of guilt or shame or different things, where it's like, oh, I need an earthquake to hear from him. No, like you hear from him in the still small voice. Sometimes he'll confirm, through a friend. You'll hear from him. You'll be hearing something, and all of a sudden you'll get like this impression, right? Or they'll say something, you say, oh my goodness, like that's a confirmation. Okay, that's a way. Sometimes he'll give you a thought or inspiration. I love that one. I really love that one. I always ask him, I said, Lord, can you lead me with inspiration at times? Because I love playing the guitar. I'm like an artist at heart, right? So I love doing anything like that's creative. I love big plans, big visionary. I always want to be on the move. So I always ask him, I said, Lord, can you please, guide me with that inspiration from the heart at times? So if that's you guys, just ask him. He will. And, but have fun, have fun with the journey. And just a reminder, like I said, let that peace guide you in everything. So if you guys need prayer, drop it in the comments. I love you guys. I hope everybody's doing well. If you guys happen to be in the crowd where there's layoffs going on, once again, take heart. He has a plan for you. And maybe this is an invitation into that, a little bit of that isolation, healthy isolation, right? Where he wants you to hear from him. And maybe it's a restructuring of a career path or different things. But yeah, embrace the quiet times, embrace the slow times, because there is always a time to go. Just jump in your cars and drive around and look at everybody frantically racing everywhere, right? I'm in LA, I see that all the time. So I got to continue to pray, for just people that are just always in a rush. The kingdom is joy, peace, and righteousness in the Holy Spirit. So that's our portion, guys. Let it be yours as well. So if you're racing today, take a step back, grab a seat, go to a park, grab a coffee, grab a tea, take a lesson from the birds, right? They're not worried and are in a rush. So hope everybody's doing well, like I said. And until next time, I love you guys. If you guys noticed, one thing I just felt prompted. If you guys want to pray for my wrist, I have an electric longboard in LA that I just love to go out and cruise. And normally I'm a little bit more cautious, but I don't know where my head was at, but I was going slow, fell down and hurt my wrist this last week. So if you guys were wondering what was going on there, that's what's happening. It's getting better, but prayers are always welcome. Especially, I love the healing ministry. So if you guys could just speak to that wrist, tendons, ligaments, different things, just speak to it on your end, and I receive that. So love you guys. Hope you guys are doing well. And till next time, we'll see you soon. So love you and have a great day. Bye-bye.